All right, good morning, and we've got Revelations 12 through 18 is next on the plate. You know, every time we read the Bible all the way through a year, like this year, what hit me was the importance of his name. How many times through here does it say in his name, on his name, by his name? Super important. All right, guys? By his name. That's what I got this year. What did you get this year out of the Bible? Did you read it all the way through and like something pop out to you and you said, wow, check it out. What is that? Anyhow, this is Blue Letter Bible app in a year, day 364, 12 through 18. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon, and under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pained to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having seen the heads, and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them into the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up into God and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. And a great dragon was cast out, and the old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and the strength of the kingdom of our God, and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death. And they overcame with that testimony. Deuteronomy 18, guys. What's he come to teach? No, I'm not a Muslim. What did he come to teach? He came to teach the 10 Commandments. All that thou desireth from the Lord thy God in Horeb in the day of the assembly. And love not their lives unto death. That means they stuck with that. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, that ye dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he pursueth the woman which brought forth the man-child, and the women were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she nourished for a time and a half, and a time from the face of the serpent. And that serpent cast out his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. And the earth helped the woman. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And the dragon wroth with the woman, and to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Yeshua. Keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Yeshua. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw the beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon the 10 horns crowns, and upon the heads the name of blasphemy. Wild. And the beast which I saw, like unto the leopard, where his feet were the feet of a bear, and the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him power in his seat and great authority. And I saw one of the heads that were wounded to death, and his deadly wounds was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and powers were given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth, that's 3.5 years, 40 and 2 months. And he opened his mouth and blasphemies against God and blasphemies against his name. That's what I just said. I said, check it out. Because what did I pick up this year in the Bible? If you read the Bible all the way through in a year, Nathaniel, if you read the Bible all the way through this year, what did you like? What did you see? You know, what did you see? I saw his name and the importance of his name, Jehovah. He sends his son in his name, Yeshua, which means Jehovah is salvation. Okay. And God was to blaspheme his name, and the tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him. All kindreds and tongues and nations and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, and whose name are written in the Lamb's, who's written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. And if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, and he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. There is the patience and the faith of the saints. And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell in to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doth have great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. This is chapter 13, verse 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles. Watch out for these miracles, folks. He gives us a sign. And that sign is the sign of Jonah. Okay? Watch out for the lying signs and wonders. Miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast. No idolatry, folks. Bad news. Idolatry is bad, bad, bad. We don't need to see something. Our faith is that which is unseen. Hebrews 11. Which had the wound of the sword did live. And he had the power to give life unto the image of the beast, that had the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive the mark in their right hand or in their right foreheads. And that no man should buy or sell or save that he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is the wisdom, let him hath understanding, and count the number of the beast, for it is a number of man, and this number is 666. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Sion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written on their foreheads. His father's name written on their foreheads. It's that name, guys. Jehovah. And when he gets here, we'll have the original language. The language will be restored by him. Don't get too hung up on the pronunciations, but know that the book I read out of changed his name 6,449 times or something like that. Okay? Lord is not his name. It's Jehovah. Beware of the lying pen of the scribes. Jeremiah 8. And they hung, as it were, a new song before the throne, before the four beasts, and the elders, and no man could learn but the 144,000, which were redeemed of the earth. What's that song? Deuteronomy 32, the Song of Moses. Actually, the very end of Deuteronomy 31 tells you it's Deuteronomy 32. Chapter breaks, watch out for them. These are which were not defiled with women, for they were virgins. These are which follow the Lamb wherever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits of God and the Lamb. What's that? They're virgins. They have a 3-day sexual fast. It's called the Key of David. That's what the Key of David's what the Church of Philadelphia has. You can go back to Samuel and see why David could eat the showbread. Why Uriah the Hittite wouldn't go be with his wife. Because they were ready for war. It's okay to do well on the Sabbath if you have the Key of David. And in their mouths was found no guile, for they were without fault before the throne of God. What did God tell Moses when he offered the covenant, the holy covenant? He said, go clean yourselves up, get sanctified 3 days. And I'll come back and you'll hear from the midst of the fire. And another angel fly in the midst. This is verse 6, 14 verse 6, chapter 14 verse 6. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having everlasting gospel. Everlasting gospel. Hebrews 4 verse 2. They preached the same gospel to them in the wilderness as they did, as the apostles taught. Is that the gospel that they're teaching in churches today? No. It's an everlasting gospel. Psalms 105 verse 8. It's everlasting, covenant, everlasting. Preach unto them that dwell on the earth, to every nation, every kindred, every tongue, and every people, saying with a loud voice, fear God. What's fear God? That we obey his commandments. And give glory to him, for the hour of judgment is come. And worship with him made in heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of waters. And the fountains of waters. And they followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, a great city, because she made all the nations drink the wine of wrath of her fornication. Who has drank all this wine of wrath and fornication? Who's been serving it up? And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark on his forehead or in his hand. What's that? What's on your hand? What you do. What you do. What you think. And what you do. The same drink of wine, the wrath of God, which is poured out with a mixture of cup in his indignation, that he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in presence of his holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and have no rest day or night, who worship the beast and his image, and whoever receiveth the mark of his name. John 5, verse 42. You have not the love of God in you. One will come in his own name, him ye shall receive. I come in my Father's name, and you receive me not. You go from that verse right there, whoever is left listening. You go from that verse right there. Turn to 2 Thessalonians 2 and read that. The whole world's been sold to fake, folks. Here is the patience of the saints. They are the ones that keep his commandments of God and the faith of Yeshua. I got church newsletter right here from a local church sent out by their head office. The CEO will have one of his minions write a little newsletter for him every month or every week or whenever. It tells us we don't even have to obey the commandments anymore. When you get to the end of the book, it seems pretty important. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Write, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord, yet henceforth, yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. Their works do follow them. Watch out. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one that sat like the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, Thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. And he sat on the cloud, thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth reaped. And another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven, and he also having a sharp sickle. And another angel came out from the altar and had the power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him, and had the sharp sickle, saying, Thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the cluster of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress, the wrath of God. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and the blood came out of the winepress, and even unto the horse bridles, by the space of 1,600 furlongs. And I saw another sign, this is chapter 15, and I saw another sign in the heavens, a great marvelous 7 angels, having the 7 last plagues for them, is filled up the wrath of God. So we haven't even got to the wrath of God yet. Okay? The tribulation is the worst time that any time has ever been. That's what it's Matthew 24. No time is ever remembered worse than that. That's just the tribulation, folks. You get to that, which we just read, then that 7 trumpet sounds, and the dead rise first. We know that from 1 Corinthians 15. Paul lets us in on that. The dead rise first. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, them that had gotten victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having harps of God. And they sing the song of Moses. As judgment comes upon the earth, everybody's singing hallelujah. And they sing the song of Moses. That's at Deuteronomy 32. Read that, folks. And they sing the song of Moses, the servant of God, and the song of the Lamb, saying, Great and marvelous are thy works. The Lord God Almighty, just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints. Who thou shall not fear thee, O Lord? Glorify thy name, for thou only art holy. For all nations shall come and worship before thee, for thy judgments are made manifest. And after I looked, behold, the temple of the tabernacle testimony was in heaven, was opened. And the 7 angels came out of the temple, having the 7 plagues, clothed in pure white linens, having their breastplates girded with golden girdles. And one of the 4 beasts gave unto the 7 angels 7 golden vials full of the wrath of God, who liveth forever and ever. And the temple was filled with smoke from the glory of God, and from the power. No man was able to enter the temple till the 7 plagues and the 7 angels were fulfilled. And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, "Go your way and pour out the vials of wrath of God upon the earth." And the first went out and poured out his vial upon the earth, and fell noisome, grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. And the second angel poured out a vial upon the sea, and it became as blood of a dead man, and every living soul died in the sea. And a third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and the fountains of waters, and they became blood. And I heard an angel of the water say, "Art thou righteous, O Jehovah, and which art thou waste shall be, because thou hast judged thus? And for they shed the blood of the saints and the prophets, thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy." And I heard another out of the altar say, "Even so, Jehovah, God Almighty, true and righteous are thy judgments." And a fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and the power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. And the men were scorched with great fire, and blasphemed the name of Jehovah, which hath power over these plagues. And they repented not to give him glory. They repented not. And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of beasts, and his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues for pain. And they blasphemed God of heaven because their pains of their sores, they repented not of their deeds. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, and the kings of the east might be prepared. And I saw unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the spirits of devils, working miracles, which goeth forth unto the kings of the earth and the whole world, to gather them to battle that great day of the God, Jehovah Almighty. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. Keepeth his garments. What's the parable of the wedding? What happened when the person shows up to the wedding without the clean garments? There'll be a weeping and gnashing of teeth. And the seventh angel, and he gathered them together in the place in the Hebrew tongue called Armageddon. And the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne saying, "It is done. It is done." And there were voices and thunders and lightnings and great earthquake, and it was not since men were upon the earth so mighty an earthquake and so great. And a great city was divided into three parts of the cities, and the nations fell. And great Babylon came in remembrance before God, giving unto her a cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. It's not good for Babylon. Where's Mystery Babylon today? Who spread their whoredoms to the four corners of the world? And every island fled away, the mountains were not found, and there fell upon a great men a hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent, 75 pounds, and blasphemed God's name because of the plague of the hail, and for the plague was exceedingly great. And there came one of seven angels which had the seven vials, and he talked with me, saying unto me, "Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornications, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornications." So he carried away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of the names of the blasphemies, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed with the purple scarlet color, and decked with the gold precious stones, having a golden cup in her hands, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornications. Queen of heaven. Upon her forehead was the name was written the name Mystery Babylon the Great, mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yeshua. And I saw her, and I wondered with a great admiration. And the angel said unto me, Therefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and the beast that carrieth her, which has 7 heads and 10 horns. And the beast that thou shalt sawest is not, and thou shalt ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. Whether they dwell on earth, they shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they beheld the beast that was, and is not, and yet is. And there is the mind which has wisdom, and the 7 heads and the 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is yet to come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was and is not, even is the 8th of the 7th, and goeth into perdition. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as of yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is the Lord of lords and the King of kings, and they are with him called, and the chosen, and the faithful. He saith unto me, The waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, and the people, and the multitudes, and the nations, and tongues. And when the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. Oh, there you go. Plasma zombie, you might be right. I believe so. And for God hath put the hearts to fulfill the will and agree, and their kingdom the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled. And the woman which sawest the great city shall remaineth the kings of the kings. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with the strong voice, saying, Babylon, the great is fallen, has become a habitation of devils. Oh, man. And should hold every foul spirit in the cage, and every unclean, hateful bird. And all the nations have drunk the wine and the wrath of her fornications. And the kings of the earth have committed fornications with her, and the merchants of the earth wax rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard a voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not her plagues. Yep. The great horror in her many harlots. Come out of her, my people. Sent forth their fornications to the 4 corners of the earth. Who's doing that? That's these churches, folks. And their bull jive, their fake gospels. Every one has got its own gospel. Many harlots. For her sins have reached into heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she is to you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filleth to her double. How much has she glorified herself? 1 Peter 4, verse 17. Mark that down. Give it a look. How much has she glorified herself? She lived deliciously. So much torment, sorrow given her. For she hath in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow. I shall see no sorrow, I sit a queen. Therefore Shall her plagues come in one day, and mourning and famine, and she shall be utter burned with fire. For strong is the Jehovah God who judgeth her, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornications and lived deliciously with her, shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see smoke of her burning, standing afar off, for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, the great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet, and all thine wood and manner of vessels and ivory and manner of vessels, most precious wood and brass and iron and marble, and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. And the fruits of thy soul lusted after are departed thee, and all the things that were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find no more at all. The merchants of these things which are made rich by her shall stand afar off, for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, the great city was cloth and fine linen and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches has come not. And every shipmaster and every company in the ships and sailors, as many as trade by the sea, stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto the great city? Wow. And they shall cast dust on their heads and cried and weeping and wailing, Alas, that great city wherein the rich, all the ships by the sea and her coastlines, for in 1 hour she is made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, ye holy apostles and prophets, for God hath avenged you on her. And the mighty angel took up a stone like the millstone and cast it into the sea, saying thus, With violence shall the great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. And the voice of the harpers and the musicians and the pipers and the trumpets shall be heard no more at all in thee. No craftsman or whatsoever he should craft shall be found any more in thee. And the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee. And the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were great men of earth, for by thy sorceries all nations deceived. And in her was found the blood of the prophets and of the saints and of all that were slain upon the earth. And after, that's 19. Is that 19? What are we doing here? Till 19? Yeah, I think it was just 12 through 18. Wow, so that's 12 through 18. And then really 19 is the culmination of that. All right, so that's where we start tomorrow. And then I'm just going to read it real quick, all right? Because today is the day.